Welcome to Cinemophile, where we bring you the best in independent, documentary, and foreign films, and we talk to the people who made them. I'm your host, Mike Caspar, and you can find out more about the program by going to cinemophilepod.com. Writer-director Moin Hussein's feature film debut, Sky Peals, tells the complex and cryptic story of Adam Muhammad, a man in his mid-30s who lives a life of insulation and isolation, having carefully constructed a routine that protects him from the unexpected. Upon hearing that his estranged father Hussain has died, Adam finds himself thrust into a state of existence in search of answers. As Adam pieces together a strange and complicated image of his father, he learns from his uncle Hussain that as an adopted child, his father once told him that he believed he had been sent from somewhere else. It is all of that and more. It is a cryptic story. It is a beautifully done film. The writing, the acting, and the look of this film all fold together into something that is special. Again, the film is called Sky Peals, and we're joined today by the writer and director, Moin Hussain. Moin, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
One of the strengths of Sky Peals is the way that you establish a look, a feel. There's a vibe to the background, the ambiance of the film, but also in the character of Adam Muhammad, you've established this character who is at least socially awkward. We're not quite sure why, what the origin is for his backstory yet, but nonetheless, he fits into the ambiance of the look of the film. In terms of creating Sky Peals, what was the inspiration? Where did Adam Muhammad come from, and how does he fit into this mosaic of Sky Peals?
Being completely honest, probably the first thing I had, the seed of the whole film was probably the location. I always wanted to make a film set in a motorway service station, and I'd always felt they strangely reminded me of spaceships for some reason. So for years I had this kind of need and want and desire to set a story there. But it was only really until I made a short film a few years previously to this that I kind of came across, I guess, this story and the character and the ideas, which kind of brought me back to this setting. So yeah, it was kind of a very slow blooming process.
So the setting of the film, which sets such a tone, as I said, is a service station for cars. It doesn't look like any service station that I am aware of. I thought it might be a bus terminal or a train station, but what you're describing is very different than what I thought it was.
Yeah, I kind of realised that it's quite, people's motorway service experiences are very different from country to country. But in the UK, we have motorway service stations, which I guess are kind of somewhere between, I don't know, like a miniature kind of shopping mall on the side of the motorway.
Yeah.
And you kind of have everything there. You kind of have somewhere you can sleep over, kind of like a motel kind of thing. You have places to eat, you have places to, and yeah, I mean, they can kind of get, and there's always places to kind of to gamble as well, like, slot machines and stuff. So yeah, the kind of world of these weird little spaces always kind of fascinated me. And I kind of, had this idea, that they're places that people pass through and never stay. I kind of call it like an in-between space. And yeah, I was kind of fascinated by the idea of a character who existed in one of these spaces, who never leaves it.
Well, as you describe it, it's a perfect setting for our character, for Adam, in the sense of he feels like he's literally and figuratively between two worlds.
Exactly, yeah.
And it really, that's okay. That adds another layer to my appreciation of the film. I just, in terms of the setting, is as much a character in the film as the actors are. I don't want to give away too much. I loathe to tell people too much about the actual story if I don't have to. And so, but I think it's fair to say that Adam, he's a shift worker. He works primarily in the back of this burger place or fast food place, I guess. And over the course of his day, he comes to see footage of the people coming and going from this service station. And by doing that, as a filmmaker, I think you really further put us into another world. You put us in a completely different environment. And the way that you play with genres in this film, and I don't know how much you want to describe this, it feels like it is like a sci-fi film. It is very much like a sci-fi film, but it's also in service to something else. And again, to another whole story about the human condition as well. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very kind description. I always saw it as a science fiction film. It's maybe not, a hard sci-fi kind of action-packed thrill ride, but yeah, for me, it was always a science fiction because, like you say, I think my favorite sci-fi films, tell us something about, the human condition, and I guess this story, I wouldn't be interested in telling this story if it wasn't a sci-fi. And the questions I guess I kind of wanted to ask myself while writing it and making it are kind of bound up in that genre, I think. So yeah, it was always
Yeah.
integral to it.
I so appreciate it. First of all, on a personal level, I lost my father recently. And in the way that this is set up, it's uncharted territory for anyone. This is a very relatable film to lose someone who you didn't really know, and that feels very relatable in a father-son relationship for a lot of people. And the way in which there is an attempt to connect that's lost between the two of them. So all of these things put us in, it's fair to say, in an alien environment, something that we're not used to, not something we're not familiar with, but at the same time relatable as well, something you can connect to. And I saw in the press notes that one of the things that you may have used as a touchstone in the film was Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the Spielberg film. And I see it. I mean, I see how that would connect, but I'd love to hear how you essentially came to that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Close Encounters again was one of the starting points. I'd always kind of loved that film growing up, and I think watching it as an adult, I was kind of it struck me how we're seeing the film through this character's perspective, but he is a father who abandons his family, right? Like he does do that. It's kind of glossed over. Um, and I think, that's and rightly like, that's not what that story's about. But it left me thinking, what happened to those kids he left behind? And I guess, thinking about stories from my own life and people that I know's life, and it all kind of yeah, it kind of started the process of my thinking for this film for sure.
I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the absolute wonderful performance of Faraz Ayub, who embodies that and from the get-go. And again, the character development, shooting, how you shot him, all of these things are in service to what we're describing in the film, the sort of the ambiance, the feel of the film. But boy, is he good at doing that because there is, and I don't think I'm giving anything away here by saying, to watch his arc in the film is really quite remarkable, and it's a testament to him as an actor, but also in the way you told the story. Let's talk about how important it was to cast Faraz in this particular role.
It was, I mean, it was the most important thing. He is, yeah, in every moment, every shot, the whole thing rests on his shoulders, and it was so important for me to cast somebody. It sounds like an obvious thing, but it was so important for me to cast somebody who really felt believable as that character. It wasn't an easy thing to do. Like it's not an easy role to play because he's not working with much dialogue, or he's not a person who emotes a lot, or gives away it very much. So yeah, there's a lot that Faraz has had to do with his just his presence and his physicality, and some of those just intangible things that you kind of can't quite put your finger on. And yeah, it was a really long process. I didn't know Faraz before I made this film, but we met during the casting, and it quickly became clear that he was able to completely inhabit this character in the most kind of believable way for me. And yeah, it was only really him who I felt that could do it at the end of the day.
Well, you were right. I don't know if he's the only person on the planet who could have done it, but he certainly comes off as that because we see him initially in the film, and to my mind, we see him somewhere between overwhelmed and awkward, and but always felt like I wanted him to succeed. I wanted him to do better. I wanted him to be better in it, whatever that meant in terms of his story. So I found him from the very beginning of the film to be that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was important for me, I guess, writing the character and creating him with Faraz through the shoot. But he isn't somebody who is totally numb to the world. He's kind of he's constantly always at a distance from it. But there's always part of him that wants to connect. He just
Yeah,
doesn't know how. There's
yeah.
this, and that was always important. I didn't want to create this character that was just completely numb and cut off, and just because, yeah, that we need to feel that there's this kind of inner life to him that isn't quite presenting itself, I guess.
I want to remind our listeners we're speaking with the director and writer of the film Sky Peals, and that would be Moin Hussain. And just to that point, yes, and you surround him with the ghostly figure of his father, sort of ethereal. These sort of we see his father, I think. I think that's who. Again, I want to be a little vague here because I want people to kind of take it in the way I did watching it. But you also surround him with really good performances all around. His mom, I thought, was absolutely terrific. There, who sort of there's an element of doubt throughout the film that you manage to maintain through the interactions that he has with other people in his family, his mom, the friends of the family. I thought someone who was particularly effective. I've forgotten his character's name, but Simon Nagra was, I thought, really an important character, and I really liked him. His correct me, help me with his character's name. I'm sorry.
He plays Adam's uncle, Uncle
Yeah,
Hamid. Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoyed their time together and how yeah it just he brings a lot and that character brings a lot to the story.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was like I said, obviously, Adam is the story is Adam's story, but yeah, it was important for me to kind of surround him with characters that I guess while they are, a lot of them are very different to him in terms of the way they communicate and the the place they find themselves in. I think I kind of wanted this film to be the world of the film to be populated by, I guess, people who are kind of just as lonely as he is, who are kind of all reaching out for contact
Yeah,
in one way or another, successfully or unsuccessfully.
this is your first feature film. You've done other films, but this is your first feature length film. I believe premiered at the Venice Film Festival. Do I have that right? Congratulations on that. That's a high bar to get in and be able to screen. And also, it's done well in terms of the recognition of the film. There's a lot of reasons for it. Your ability to set this mood between the sound design, the cinematography, the kind of ethereal world that you create around him. There's a Lynchian quality to this film. And I don't know if that's fair to you or if you would, how that would, but that's how it feels. There's something you're never quite sure where you are and or what might be over the horizon for this. And that to me, sound design, great performances, a story that's interesting, pulls you in. Man, that's the triple crown as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. That's a lovely compliment. I appreciate it.
Let's talk about your cinematographer and working with that look that you'd created.
Yeah, yeah. So Nick Cook was the director of photography on this film, and yeah, we've collaborated on short films before. He's an amazing cinematographer and a yeah, a great person. And I was really fortunate to have a lot of time with Nick before the shoot, even before prep. We were talking, sharing references, experimenting with the look and the more abstract sequences in the film. And having that kind of prep and shorthand was invaluable, because it kind of meant that, in a tight schedule, working with 35mm film,
Yeah.
we were kind of able to achieve what I wanted for the film. And it's testament to Nick for
Yeah,
that.
well, and lighting 35 and just getting that mood right. One of my favorite, I mentioned David Lynch, whether that was a good idea or not, I don't know. But one of my favorite David Lynch film is Lost Highway. And there's a lot of elements, particularly when I hear the sound in the film. There's things that sort of creep in that felt very Lost Highway to me. And again, one of my favorite films. So what can I say?
Yeah,
Congrats.
yeah. I mean, I'll take Lynchian as a compliment. Thank you.
Well, thank you're welcome. And in terms, again, the film is out already. By the way, Sky Peals, that's Peals, is out on VOD. Where can people watch right now?
So it's available on VOD. I believe it's Apple TV, Amazon, maybe some more. But
Okay,
just Google Sky Peals and it will come up.
the usual suspects. I always
Yeah,
call it the
yeah.
usual suspects. You can check it out on that. And for you as a filmmaker, as I said earlier, your first feature film, I assume you're working on more projects. I'm assuming people are approaching you with other ideas for films. And do you have anything in production right now, or are you just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm kind of writing and directing, I guess, my next project. So but I've got a couple of things, different genres, various stages of development. So
Good for you. Good for you. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I really do look forward to more. I just, it's a special film. So congratulations on your work here, and look forward to more. We've been talking with the director and writer. And what else? Any other hats that you wore in
That's
this?
it for now. Yeah.
That's enough. Moin Hussain, the film is called Sky Peals. Be looking for this. It is a terrific, terrific film. So congratulations on your work here.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have been listening to Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar, the place where you will hear from the best in independent documentary and foreign filmmakers. Please check out our previous interviews as well as upcoming interviews and special programming by going to cinemaphilepod.com. We are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, searchable under Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar. Until next time, thank you for listening.